Good day, everyone. Welcome to Hard Knock Hawks. Today, we are going to be talking about our thoughts on the full Atlanta Hawks preseason. They went 1-3. To remind everyone about the teams they played against the Pacers, the 76ers, the Heat, and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's just jump right in, and I'm going to just start asking with this question: what player impressed you the most this preseason? Anyone can answer this question first.
Marco.
Oh, I'm going first. Okay. I wanted to say Ricochet because he had two good games, but he didn't play all four games, so I don't feel like it's fair to count him in this. So, with further ado, I'm going to say Dyson. Out of the four games we played four, yeah, out of the four games, Dyson only had one bad game, and I think that was only when he scored like five, 6. Other than that, it's been 11 plus. He's been stroking that thing. He's been shooting threes. He's been getting the shots up. Been playing defense. Been doing everything you wanted him to do. Been getting to the rim. Been adding rim pressure that we need. He's been doing his thing. He's been a connective player. Been passing. Been passing the ball. Whatever we wanted. Whatever I wanted from Dyson, he did. So I'm gonna give preseason player. I don't fucking know whatever the award is. He gets my vote.
For me, I'm gonna give it to Kobe because initially I was kind of disappointed with the way he started, but over time I think he handled the pressure from a bunch of these teams that we played against. We played against a bunch of really defensive minded teams like the Heat, OKC, and Philadelphia. So to just see him like just improve as time went on against like all this defensive pressure and doing things like getting to the rim, like shooting a lot more and shooting better as the games went on. It really just showed me that like his confidence was improving, like he was becoming more aggressive, and more importantly, like if he was gonna be that backup point guard, I think you could have like more faith in him if in this incoming season. So that's why I think Kobe could be like, well, not could be, but I think he was probably the most impressive player to me for this preseason.
Leon.
Um, let's see. We've got one vote for
Dyson.
Dyson. We've got one vote for Kobe. So I am forced to go with the young bull, Zachary Ricochet. Played in only 2 games, but you really can't fake 16 points a game, 60% from the field, 44.4% from three on 4.5 attempts. Rebounded pretty well. Positive assist to turnover ratio for a rookie is fairs as long as you're not a point guard. As long as it's positive, I can't really be upset. And, it just looks like he belongs on an NBA court for a guy that was the number one pick on supposedly the worst NBA draft ever. So it just looks like we find our three of the future and we can finally get Voldemort off the team.
I mean, those were all solid choices. And unfortunately, you're all wrong, but they were solid choices. Jalen Johnson was the most impressive person this preseason. I think he was like 20 for 29 from the field, like 80% true shooting percentage. Just absolute nuts. The confidence from three was there. He was pulling up. If the contest wasn't there, he could see it, and he was reading that and taking the shot. He was enforcing his will down low. He was trying to test the limits of his ability and his physical dominance. And then you really saw him kind of get into his bag in that last game, just eat Jovic like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Before sitting out. Well, he had 20 points in the first half or something crazy. So yeah, Jalen Johnson was a manimal this preseason, and he's looks like he might be on a mission this year. And he's got a guy in Trey who's kind of been waiting for anyone to like step up and finish. And Jalen is ready, and yeah, it was exciting to see him kind of show off his powers.
Yeah, like I agree with you, Chris. Like if I didn't choose Kobe, it probably would have been Jalen. He's just shown himself to be like way more aggressive than he has been. I think a negative knock that you could put against Jalen would be the turnovers, but like he's experimenting, and that's something you want to see like during the preseason. And this is the most freedom he's probably ever going to get before we actually just start playing games for the most part. So I think it's gonna just be really interesting to see how this new aggressive Jalen Johnson is just gonna look next to Trey. And Jalen Johnson has to be aggressive because in order for like the Hawks to be like where they want to be this season, he has to be just probably play close to an all-star level, like 20-10-5 basically. So him basically shooting well. I think let me look at the stats. He shot 7 out of 8 from threes. That's great. Like just doing all the things you want to see him. It's just such a good sign for him and a good sign for the team. But I do want to talk about our offense a bit more. What did you guys think about that as the games went on? Because it was, for the most part, kind of a low-scoring affair, which was kind of unusual for this Hawks team, considering that for like the past year or two, it's been kind of like high-scoring games, but not a lot of defense. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'll start with that one. I think a lot of it, the offense was a little indecisive throughout the preseason. I felt like they took a little time to get into their stuff to begin games. And I think that was just Trey kind of trying to trust his teammates and letting them find their legs and get going. And it's a new group that's trying to play fast and learn each other and where they all need to be. And a lot of their turnovers, especially against the Heat, I think was like the best example of this, where they were trying to throw quick passes and no one was there. First quarter was a little chaotic, but I think it's a team that's like trying to be they're trying to move the ball quickly, and when you're doing that, you're going to have some turnovers as you're getting your feel for each other. And I think when the regular season starts, Trey will kind of take a bit more hold of the offense in terms of making those quick decisions, getting guys their shots earlier in the clock. But it was nice to see the other guys like have a chance to make some decisions and at least get a feel for each other. And I think by the end of it, you really saw them clicking a little bit better, especially when the starters were out there. They had some high scoring first half, so I think they'll be fine. But yeah, it was they had some growing pains, but it was good to see how much the ball was moving.
You want? Oh, it's my turn. All right, bet. Offense is fine. They're trying to play with pace. They're trying to play with the pace they've been wanting to play with. Let's get the ball, push it up the floor, do what you need to do. Similar to what Indiana did last year. If you can outrun anybody, you're scoring. And we have a lot of people that wants to run. You get to your spot faster than the defense, you're fine. With a point guard like Trey, you get to your spot, he's going to find you. Stay in your lane, stay focused. Threes, I don't think we got up a decent amount of threes, but I don't think we got up the amount of threes Quinn wanted fully. I can't tell you off the top of my head how many threes we averaged per game this preseason, but I can tell you it was not enough. But to piggyback on that, to back up, a lot of players that I needed to shoot threes shot the threes, no hesitation. Ricochet, you're probably gonna get like 8 threes for him alone. I feel like at that that's a stretch. It's a stretch, but he's not scared to shoot it. Even though he knows he's not like, even though he knows he's cold, he's gonna shoot it. That's fine. Trey is gonna give you Trey is realistically gonna give you 8 threes a game, 8-9 threes a game. He's just gonna put that up. That's him. Bogey's gonna give you 8-9 threes. Jalen, I want him to give us at least 5. But Jalen to Jalen. Depends on what we're doing. But offense for preseason, I felt like it was fine. You got a glimpse of what we wanted to play as. We ran some new actions, ran some new plays. That off ball inbound play we did for Trey, pass it in. They set the screen. He runs to the corner because you need to get Trey in the corner because he has one of the highest percentages from the corner and 3. You need to get him in his spots.
And if he's gonna be an MVP, he needs to get to the corner more.
Right. So
Period.
you want Trey to do his thing. So I liked what I've seen. As this, I expect us to actually run our full playbook Wednesday.
To answer your question, we took 45.5 threes a game across the first for the 4 preseason games, and that's 115 assists on 158 made field goals. That's like 73% assist percentage. And that's what we want. That's what playing through the pass looks like. I fumble that every time I try to say it. But I think in the preseason, as Trey said, and after I believe it was the Sixers game, he's trying to get everybody involved. And, there was a lot of overpassing going on. And he's going to be more aggressive looking for his shot when the season starts. He's still Trey Young. But, just to get everybody else real comfortable with the movement of the ball and all that kind of stuff, that was really good to see him do. And I think, and I've talked about this before, it's earlier in Trey's career, he had players that he had to get them the ball in the most opportune scoring position, and that would be the only way he could get the assist. That's that spoon feeding that he had to do for certain players. And now, not only does he have guys that he can more so get in scoring position and allow them to make the move to score, but he also has other guys around him who can pass the basketball. That starts with Jalen. It goes to Dyson. Even Ricochet flashed more passing shots than any like 3 that's played during the Trey era in Atlanta. So
the TY era.
Yeah, for sure. So the way to win now offensively is volume playmaking. The Nuggets did it. The Celtics did it. The Warriors did it. Like, basically, outside of LeBron, the last 8 or so champions have had this volume playmaking where you have 5 or 6 guys average 3 plus assists. Nobody really averages more than 7 or 8. And that's how you keep the defense off balance. And that's what Quinn wants to do. That's what he's trying to do. And it looks like he's really drilled that into him. So it'll be nice to see the team find that balance between, heavy pick and roll, ball dominant Trey, and playing through the pass more. So because you're still going to do Trey pick and roll. He's one of the best pick and roll ball handlers in the league. So we're not going to just abandon that.
Well, that pick and pop going to be deadly.
Yeah, the Jalen Risa pick and pop. To your point about the all the teams that have been doing it, and Quinn actually made this point that cutting is like a lost art in the NBA, and no one really does it anymore. But teams that have done it, the LeBron Heat, LeBron Cavs, the Warriors, Nuggets. When you have great playmakers and teams that are willing to move the ball, and you have guys that cut, like NBA teams aren't used to defending that night to night. So when you face someone that's really good at it, it's hard to stop. And the beauty of those offenses, I've heard a lot of vets talk about it because a lot of it is based off the triangle. And like the beauty of it is like that all that movement, it keeps the defense occupied so they can't load up on your guy. And they're worried about somebody back cutting them like once, and now they got to watch that guy the rest of the game. Now Trey and Jalen are getting off, right? And they can't have their eye on the main guy, or they're going to get beat. So yeah, it's really good to see the movement in the offense. It's definitely something that Quinn's clearly been drilling. I saw multiple times where you had 2 guys cutting. Dyson was moving all over the place. Zach was moving a lot when he was playing. Jalen, obviously, we know what he does to people when they're not paying attention. So yeah, it's great to see all the movement, and I know Trey's excited. He's been smiling a lot, and I'm just ready for the real games to start.
Yeah, I mean, about with the movement, I am just so interested to just see how Quinn uses Zachary Ricochet as just like this, I guess, tertiary passer, Dyson Daniels and like V if he is even in the main rotation, because we'll probably get to it later in this podcast. But the Hawks do have, I think, they do have a problem where they have too many good players.
Are the Hawks too deep?
Yeah.
Are the Hawks?
Yeah. We may have a situation where there are just too many good players on this roster where you just have to just find time to play them, and some of them are just not going to be able to play. So I think it's just going to be really interesting to see that. In terms of like the 3-point shooting that I think Marco mentioned, I thought it was interesting to see like certain players like Dyson Daniels kind of improved their shooting. Well, not kind of. They did improve like their shooting.
He shot
like,
really well.
He did.
He shot 38% from three on
38%.
what was it, like
really
5 attempts a game? What are we doing? These are the facts. Just calling the spade.
Look, if Dyson Daniels had gotten here and been doing this and shooting that from 3 for the entirety of his deal, we would have to give him the craziest contract. The craziest.
Yeah.
So what OG just got paid from the Knicks. That's the type of player you're talking about. Defensively, like he's got that type of versatility, but then to also shoot above average from 3, like that guy in today's NBA gets broke off, and he's becoming the prototype 3-and-D, but then he's also got much more to his game. Outside of that, he's a good rebounder, he's a passer, he's a cutter. So yeah, there's a lot to like about what Dyson Daniels brings to the Hawks.
Man, look, we're gonna get a little side tangent. You know, I gotta get my Dyson Glaze in every episode. But if he's giving me 5 threes a game on 38%, man, what a man. What a player.
That's not a number that we even have to kind of hold him to. My number that I really was expecting was like something around 33.
34.
If he gave me 33
I was saying 30.
I would be fine with that. But if he's like
if he's stroking that thing at 38, who really can beat us?
That's a high number.
Yeah, like
that's a higher jump than what Jalen made last year, and look how great people are looking at him right now. Right, he was up to like 34, I think, last year, and it felt like he was shooting really, really well. Right, he started a lot harder than he finished, but. I think if Dyson's there, man, that's a good number.
People are saying that Jalen's 3 ball like fell off after the season, like as the season went on. I think that's more so like I broke my wrist.
Yeah,
my ankle's messed up. Like, and he's already not like the best. He was never going to be the best shooter in the NBA. So he's not like this pure shooter. So yeah, that's going to affect my shot. Even if it is his offhand, like it's going to affect his shot. It's just the way it works. Especially for guys that tall.
The touch looks really improved, though. He's clearly been drilling it. There was the one play where he got like offensive rebound and then had a little fadeaway midi where you could tell like he's been working on his touch, like for sure. And I think over the course of the season, he's going to be in some spaces where he's going to put up a lot of numbers. There's going to be some teams that don't have a matchup for him, and it's going to be spooky.
Yeah, there are some teams that start some really. Hey, we just play like when we play OKC, and Hardy's not out there,
bro.
And Jalen Williams is trying to guard Jalen Johnson.
There's a lot of fake fours in this league. There's a lot of fake fours in this league, and Jalen is not a fake 4. So,
yeah, Jalen Williams might not even play by the time we get to them. They're our 3rd game of the season, and he just apparently he has his ankle is fucked.
Did he get hurt tonight?
Yeah, he got hurt.
Yep.
Oh, are we sure he really got hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt. He twisted his ankle on the way down.
Yeah. They showed the footage of it. So
he landed on Yeka's foot. Yeka putting in early work, babies. He's securing them.
All right. I gotta.
Speaking of Onyeka,
I just need that to happen to AD.
On Yeka's first action since March, I think he hit a 3 from above the break.
Yep.
He went 1 for 5. I do want to
listen.
If Double O is hitting,
do you know what Anthony
pop JC threes?
Do you know what Anthony Davis shoots from 3? It's like 28%, bro.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about him as a shooter? Does it feel like he shoots 28%? No,
No,
right?
he's
And people
Best
respect
mid-range
him like he
shooter
shoots
ever.
better than 28%. And for a center, that's actually kind of reasonable. There's not that many good shooting centers. If you look at their numbers, it's usually underwhelming.
I'm just happy Onyeka is just shooting them. Like just
Yeah,
shooting.
his shot.
Yeah.
I said
He's
it.
got a great touch.
His shot has gotten way faster compared to last year. He's actually shooting it with confidence. He's not winding it up while he's trying to get the
If
ball
only
up.
we didn't stop developing for 2 seasons, man.
It's really crazy how far
If we
Onyeka
had
has come.
USC Onyeka for this whole time, man, I think because that was the Onyeka that because when you draft a kid, you immediately go to the highlight days. I was like, dang, this boy got it. He's got some stuff in his bag.
Yeah.
Then he had to play in a role that wasn't really built for him.
Yeah,
But Quinn is not that type of coach. He's definitely gonna kind of try to cater things to what he's got and
lean into your strengths. All of you, everybody on my roster, lean into your strengths, please.
Yeah, if Onyeka can give me at least 3 threes a game, I'm fine.
Yeah.
He's going to hit that. I feel like his spot is going to be the corner too. He was pretty good in the corner.
We have a bunch of good corner shooters.
If you want to keep running a 5 out,
that's really important. And I don't think that's an accident. I think when they saw what Zach shot from the corner, Dyson shot from the corner, and what they've gotten from the corner for the 2 years before that, which damn near broke. I mean, it's hard to break a Trae Young offense, but you can really mess it up if the guy in the corner can't hit threes because that's what Trae is creating so often with his drive and penetration. And then you got Clint. So he's counting. He's like, all right, we got an open guy in the corner. Let me hit him. And he's going to keep hitting them, right? But if the guy's not making the shot, it really hurts what you're doing. And we got some guys that can knock that down this season. The offense can get even better.
To go back to the offense real quick, I think the Heat game, we've played the Heat so many times, and when you see it from coach to coach, you see that the difference. Every time Trae has gotten trapped by the Heat in the Nate era, players were stagnant.
Yeah.
I hate to do it. Players were stagnant. They sat there and watched Trae get doubled. They let that double happen. And by the time Trae's already picking up the ball, it's too late. You're moving too late at this point.
Yeah,
in the Quinn era. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
They'd be scared to get the ball.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those guys that like Kevin Huerter, John Collins, they don't want to get the ball at the top of the like at the free throw line against the Heat. They don't. They don't. Like everybody that's going to start outside of Clint, Jalen, Dyson, Zach, they want that ball at the like right below the free throw line, and they know what to do when that happens. So like that's and part of that is the personnel, part of that is the coaching. So I mean, hey, I'm happy. I'm sorry, I had to.
A lot of that is the coaching because I want to shout out Clint Capela quickly. I know I've done the opposite for quite some time on Spaces, but Clint obviously has been talking with the coaching staff, and he's been swinging the ball out on short rolls more than I think anyone has ever seen. And that shows, one, that, like, he's bought in, and I think if you got Clint bought into that, there's a lot of players on the team that are clearly bought in as well. You see a lot of guys making the extra pass and trying to whip it out and move it. And I think, especially at the end of tonight's game, you saw a lot of, like, all those guys were all running the same stuff we've been running all game, right? It was the like, Quinn's got something installed, and people are bought in.
Yeah, I think not just in what was it called? What's it called? Media Day. The Media Day interviews, Quinn talked about development, not just for the young guys, but for our vets too. Only got a couple vets. So I was really interested to see what he meant by that. But if Clint Capela is
swing the rock.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
If he can get the board and just pass it out.
Yes, if he's going to allow us to reset our offense after offensive boards or kicking out to shooters,
it's huge.
Man, that's gonna be big.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about they call it the Angel Reese, and I feel like that's some Clint Capela erasure because he's been doing that for years.
Yeah, decade.
And here's the issue with that, right? Because I think when you get an offensive rebound, you have an opportunity to reset your offense and actually run offense and try to get a good shot. Now, if you have a dominant big, you can just go right back up and score. That's fine. But if you're not scoring on that, please swing the rock so we can run something and get an easy shot. And I think if Clint is doing that on his short rolls, I think we might see him tipping it out more and looking to swing it on the offensive rebounds when the finish isn't there. Though we've also seen that Clint clearly has been working on his little hook shot, right? I think the last start he hit a couple of those in the paint. Now, obviously, I don't want a lot of possessions ending with Clint Capela shooting from like 7 feet. That's really awkward. If I can get it to 0 feet or not shooting at all, ideally that's the situation. But he's been working on his game, and these guys are clearly they're bought in, and you see a bunch of guys trying to improve. Like I'm already thinking about Dyson coming back next year with a better handle because of what he's been doing driving. I think that's got some growth, some room to grow and improve. So yeah, I really like what I'm seeing from the group.
Yeah. But not to finish what I was saying earlier, a lot of players are moving without the ball. We've had a problem with that. We've had people not, like Leon said, we have people scared to come get the ball, get it. Shit, we ain't got that problem this year. We got people moving without the ball. Jalen got to his spot in the corner. Trey zipped it across the court. Easy 3. Jalen was actually like pretty good on the 3. He was shooting at no hesitation. He came up the court.
I mean, the release is quicker. The shot is smoother.
You're
shooting freaking 88. I mean, 80. Yes. 88% from 3.
Bro, the reads are deadly. There was one where he like clearly caught a few guys like in poor contests, and he could like tell. And it was like
he sized Thomas Bryant up.
He's sized like, and he's looking for it, and he's not hesitating when he gets it, and that's just a really good sign. We need him to be a scorer for us. I mean, I think everyone's talked a long time about like wanting to get the ball out of Trey's hands, and we've talked about the way to do that is to have guys that can score around him that he can feed and defer to throughout the game. And if Jalen is a guy that we can really depend on for volume production, that is huge because that's just one more guy. And I think if you can get Jalen and Zach both finishing, you can scale Trey down to where he's even more efficient and able to get easier shots for himself because they're able to get shots for themselves.
Yeah. So now that we have a flowing offense, what's crazy, we haven't even went into the bag yet of the full playbook.
Hold on. I got one more thing to say about Clint Capela. Lord, I mean, wow. 6 or 7 from the free throw line. It's early. It's just preseason.
Bogey got him right last year.
Because like there were times not just last season, but in the Capela seasons in Atlanta where the Hawks are kind of going on a run, they got a little momentum, and it's Capela time. Late in games, it's Capela time. If teams stop, if we can force teams to not be able to go to that, like that's just another thing. And then at that point, like he just might still be the best center on this team.
Hey, since we're praising Capela right now, I guess I'll join in on this.
It just is what it is, man. He was good.
Yeah, he was really good.
If we're praising Capela right now, I'll get in on this. Hawks use Capela as a playmaking hub. I don't know if anybody really seen that, but he was doing some shit I ain't never seen him really do before.
There was a pass he swung out to the corner where he was like spinning around, and I was like, one, that was a pretty good read. It had to be because I know Clint Capela isn't like making that play on the fly, but like the fact that he made that read and then actually pulled off that pass, I was like, what is happening right now? That is definitely an October, like early October play, dog. His legs are fresh. Like
there was that one play,
no
like
abductors or anything. He was like, that thing out there. Like,
was that one play in like the first preseason game where he just passed it to Risache in the corner, I'm like, oh my god, this is a new Clint Capela.
Like Clint was
Capela.
making the smart look. We've shitted on Clint for so long that the fact that we're seeing him do new stuff is crazy. He made smart passes. He did go back to his old self a couple times, like miss, put it back up. But anyway, he made smart passes. He made the right reads. He playmaking Clint. You know, we're gonna give him a new name.
Black Jokic.
Floor General Clint. That's not rolling off the tongue for real. I don't know. We'll work on that one.
Swiss Army knife.
That's Vit's. That's Vit's name.
He's from Switzerland, right? I think
the Swiss Bank.
Swiss Bank, yeah.
Yeah, we'll give him
that's gonna be good.
Nah, Swiss roll. I feel like Swiss roll a little, you know.
No. The Swiss Bank has like literally been his nickname.
Oh, okay.
I didn't just come up with that. Sorry.
Oh,
Swiss roll kind of
weird.
Yeah, the Swiss roll is a
little. Relax.
I just don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it.
Because he's the main role man. You know, yeah.
He shouldn't be, but this he has to be though. But I think the biggest issue the last couple of years was the only real way to get Clint involved in the offense with the offense we were running was have him be the role man. You can't put him in the corner. You can't give him the ball in the post and think that's going to be good offense. You can't give him the ball at top of the key and have everybody else run like you couldn't do that before. But now, if you rep the DHO stuff, and you know he grew throughout the season in that, and clearly over the summer as well. I mean, that kind of he kind of got denied. It was against what was game 3? The Heat.
Yeah,
like where you know what I'm talking about. He kind of pops it over to Dyson. He cuts to the rim, gets it back, dunks. Like that is the kind of quick hitting stuff that you were not getting from him the past 3 or 4 years. You just weren't. And if we can get some kind of consistency with that, then I mean, Dre made some passes.
Risking turning this into a Clint Capela pod. I will say, like, the ball handling on DHOs is clearly better. He's not picking up his dribble unnecessarily. He's clearly got more confidence in his handle. And the quick hitting stuff is much more fluid, like you were saying. There another play where it almost got messed up. He hit Veet, and then Veet immediately hit him on a bounce pass to the rim. Which you said Dyson, but But yeah, Veet would always Veet will always see that play, but the fact that Clint saw that opportunity as well is good, which lets you know that they've been repping that and that he's seeing the floor the same way that Veet is. And if Clint and Veet are on the same page, that's a good sign for regarding Clint and the rest of the players. If Quinn's got him locked in, man.
Yeah, so I do want to point in on this since we are talking about improvements we have seen from already established players. Let's talk about one player in particular that has not shown me anything new. And we picked him very early, he wears number 12, you know him very well. DeAndre Hunter,
Okay, hold on. Now, to be fair,
no,
I think he's looked fine in preseason.
He's looked fine. Dre, all right, no,
he doesn't have to show anything new.
No.
He can look fine. And I mean, he got 4 assists in a game. I mean, we never see that.
I thought
he's looked fine.
Is that a career high?
That's a career high for him. But look,
it is a career high. But
let me cook, Ant. Let me cook. Let me cook, Ant.
Okay, go ahead.
I was told in a media day presser that I don't ever just work on one thing. I work on everything because I feel like I'm an all-around guy. Now, Dre's shot selection is very much better this season. Every shot he took, it was open. He stopped with those contested ass middies or whatever. He's had a lot of open looks. Did he make those open looks? No. But that's just all around Drake. That's just what you get from him. You
All
better say
right.
something, Leon?
He's
I
adjusting
will
to
say
playing to the pace.
it's
Blah blah blah.
it's
Get
a
him
little
out.
well, yeah, he played in the exact opposite of this in college. Whatever is the opposite of fast is slow. That's how I would define UVA, everything about them. They want to slow you down. They want to slow down. I'm glad that guy is gone. He's one of the reasons I can't watch college basketball. He ruined the ACC for years, multiple times ruined the ACC. But back to Dre and to the all around like that's what I think that might be part of the problem, right? Is that he's not like picking one thing to like really perfect each off season. There's a lot of players that have talked about their off season like strategies. Like if you try to work on everything, you won't get better at anything. But if you just pick one thing each off season to get better at, right, over the years, now you've rounded out your game. So maybe that's part of it, and he hasn't like really like locked in on one thing, but he hasn't had too many healthy off seasons, which is also part of the issue in terms of his development over the years. And he was an older player, so a little bit more set in his ways. So adjusting to the pace is not going to be as natural for him. This isn't how he played in college for 3 years. So.
It's right. You're right. And I've said it before that Dre is more used to playing with people that plays at his pace. That's why
The
he liked
Nate
playing
style.
with DeJounte. Yeah, he liked playing with DeJounte. He loved Nate. To get that out. So after I'm done shitting on Hunter, I will finally say some good things about Hunter. Like you said, he is adjusting to the new place. He's getting up to the floor. All that good shit, blah blah blah. He's doing that. He's passing it out. I will say he's also another player that is making the smart pass. Last year, Dre, he would dribble into the crowd. He'll see that it's a help defender right there. He'll dribble into the help defender. No, Dre sees that help, and he's gonna pass it to the person who's getting helped off of, and then we're letting that next person make the best play. Dre was making good connective plays. Let's put it like that. I'll give him that. He looked a little bit better on defense. I'm not gonna lie. He's gotten better. He's gotten better at moving his feet. He's gotten better. He's still a robot. He's still very stiff. Pause. But he got better at moving his feet. So, hey, I still want him off the team, but I'm gonna give him credit where I can.
All right. I am gonna be the DeAndre Hunter defender, even though
we need a soundboard bad.
Even though I want Dre to be traded, but I think some of the criticism of him during preseason has been a little harsh. Like he's been fine. And I mean, it's okay to say that. Like I don't expect much from him at this point because I mean, he is what he is at this point, right? Like you're not gonna get this all-star player. He's just a okay wing. I mean, that's what he did. Yeah, I mean, am I wrong about that? Like,
no. Here's the situation, right? When we drafted him, a lot of people wanted him to come in and change this team, right? I think at some point this season, everyone will be able to take a step back and realize, like, he's in a different role now. We don't need him to be what we used to need him to be. They have Jalen to be that guy. They have Zach stepping up. You can just kind of pick and choose where you want to play Hunter now, and get him exactly where you need him to be. So, yeah, I think when we initially, a lot of people were disappointed that he didn't become this star. But I think you found a star in Jalen, and you got a number one pick in Zach. So I think people can lighten up on Dre while he's on the roster for now. I don't know that it's going to be for longer than this deal. But yeah, I think now you can kind of deploy him more in matchups that fit his skill set and in ways that best play to his game.
now, if he's like garbage in the first month or so, I'm gonna be like, bye and just salary dump him, like because Risache and Veet need to play, and we have too many players that need to play already.
It isn't like
drop his
Like,
All
Go
right,
ahead.
if we had the straight box score watch, I'm gonna let Leon have it after this because he been wanting to say something.
Yeah.
If we're straight box score watching, he has not been the
He's
best
about
at
to
all.
unleash.
He's not been the best at all. He's like one game he went like 0 for 8
I mean,
on all
are
three
we-
shots.
That was game
Are we-
one, right?
yeah. Are we really? We should be expecting that from him, though. Like, he's not gonna be that guy. He's just a role player. Like,
I should be expecting the nigga that gets paid.
I mean, I'm
20
not
million.
saying.
I'm not even supposed to
I'm
say
not
that
saying
on pod,
0
but
and 8
Jesus.
is. I'm not saying 0 and 8 is a good thing. I don't want him to go 0 and 8, but it's preseason, right? Like,
So
just
it's the
get all the
fact-
misses out the way, and in the regular season, be fine.
There just
hopefully.
aren't
That's my
many
whole
shots
thing.
for him
Yeah.
moving forward anyway, man. I mean, at some point you see what you got for him, but you have so many players that you have to play now. So.
Go ahead, Leon. I know you have something to say.
I saw four or five wings / forwards on this team secure multiple rebounds that I have never seen DeAndre Hunter secure in my life. That's one.
Zach had 8 in one of those
Hey,
games.
Hold on.
Dyson had 8 tonight.
That's one.
Tyson had
Two.
7 last game.
If DeAndre Hunter is not hitting shots,
Where does the value come from?
Well, I mean, I can't really defend that. You're right.
and I understand
You're right.
like he's a good team defender, blah blah blah, cool, whatever. I got a couple of those on my roster now, buddy. I'm sorry.
The roster's in a different place than it was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why.
He just needs to be making $10 million a year, and I promise I'll shut up. Like,
You know what's crazy? He was missing his bread and butter shots too. He was
missing his corner threes, like bro.
He was
that's
missing
what you
middies.
do.
He was missing middies.
He was pressing.
Like what I say last pod. He feels that baguette breathing down his neck, and he's pissing down his leg. That's what's happening. We all see it. Like, what do you mean? We all see it.
Speaking of baguettes, have you noticed?
Man, he wanted
how
them
many
boys.
people on the team are baguette shaded. There's so many light-skinned dudes on the team. This is like
crazy.
this was like they started like 5 light-skinned dudes tonight, didn't they? No, 4 in Onyeka. It was a preview of the regular season. It was like David Roddy.
It's just.
I'm just saying it's a lot of. Well, I'm saying when they say Hawks DNA, do they mean like literal?
This is just a coincidence. Just a coincidence.
It's
just a coincidence.
All I'm saying is, when that baguette man shot those threes, he shot it with confidence. Now,
bro, he's got a lot of confidence. Zach has a lot of confidence.
Yeah, we're gonna transition into Zach because I feel like he deserves a little segment on his own for this one. Because
Zach played really, really well. Yeah,
he shot.
I would have went with whatever. So when we did that earlier, I was just gonna say whoever you guys didn't say.
Yeah.
In that first,
I just kind of allied that up to. I was like,
yeah. I was just waiting. Yeah,
I just want to say, I know there was a couple people in here, including myself, who were Team Sarzilla, and Kling Kong over there, whatever.
Not me.
But there's only one person who really had real stock in the Hawks draft in Alex Sarr, and that's DeAndre Hunter. He wanted them to draft Sarr so bad. I'm sure he wanted that more than anything in the world. And when they drafted Ricochet, he probably broke his TV. He was probably at Best Buy.
Coach, we need a defense. Coach, we need a defense.
He probably went to Best Buy the next day. Had to get a whole new PS5, everything. This is bad. He was in the Zen Garden for sure.
He's like, y'all playing him at the 2, right, Coach?
He said, "Coach, you see, hey, Coach, he kind of taller than me. What's going on right here?"
Like, damn, he kind of tall. You playing the 4? You playing the 4, right?
Yeah, play the 4.
No, he can't play the 4. Jalen right there. Damn. So where you going? Where you two guard, right? It's me,
Like-
it's me and you, right?
They're like, all right, three's over to the right elbow. He's like, what you doing over here?
Hey, this is my spot. What you
Get out my corner.
this is my corner right here. What you doing?
His days are numbered. Look, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people that are like still. I get the look. I've had plenty of. I've said many a thing about DeAndre Hunter in my day, but at this point, he doesn't matter anymore, man. It's like when you get a new girl. Like, I'm not worried about my old girl, man. She does not exist to me. I got a new bad light skin dog. She taller. She got more confidence. She dressed better.
I'm
She got
happy
an
I hung up
accent.
on my
You know
girl
what I'm
when I just did. My God,
got
you're gonna get me in too much trouble. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Got
As
an
soon as I hung
accent,
up, I
you
got
know
a
what I'm
new
saying?
tall light skin. She battery. Whoa,
I'm not
whoa.
worried about that old one.
Yeah,
I'm not worried about the old one.
Wow.
We gonna let her ride out the old lease, right? That we signed. I moved out. I got a new one. It's a better deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a dude who stayed with his girl after they broke up for a while. Very, very messy shit. Anyway,
to get back to
that's what the
Risa,
Hawks are going to be doing.
yeah. So to get back to
They
Risa,
just-
though,
They just can't get out the lease.
Not
They
the
just
first
can't
time.
get out
Not
the
the first time. They've had to run out a lease before. John Collins. You know, when they had the young guy coming up behind him, and when
Sometimes
he
you
was
just
ready,
gotta
they
take
got
the
rid
credit
of him.
hit. Sometimes you just gotta take the hit on that credit, man.
It's very likely that after the season, when Zach is like clearly ready to start at the 3, then Dre will get shipped off for a bag of potatoes or whatever.
I feel like he starts
Raccoon basketball.
I mean, look,
This is how-
I'm all. Hey, listen, I'm all for throwing a little, throwing that King's pick on top, bringing back Cam Johnson, but that's just me.
We're not getting Cam Johnson for Hunter the Kings pick. That I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know how much you think Cam Johnson's worth, but Cam Johnson also
Here's
stayed
the
hurt.
thing. I don't think they can move him before next year's draft because everyone is just going to demand that Lakers pick until we actually draft somebody with it.
Well,
So,
hey,
more
there'll
than
be
likely it'll be like
there'll
2
be
days, 2
four-
days after the
there
draft.
could be 4 or 5 picks between the Lakers pick and the Kings pick, and if I'm Landry, I'm dialing 1-800-8.
Hey, I'm glad. I'm glad we're
Hey,
talking
no,
about
but I think because there wasn't a lot of movement during the draft in the first round this year, right?
No.
But I think in this draft, I think teams are gonna like really like.
You think anybody's trading back in this draft, bro?
Huh?
That's been the people haven't been
No.
trading back out of the mid-ass drafts that we've been having.
Mm-hmm. And now it's time
Last
for
draft,
people to start
anybody
trying to
moved
trade
up? Was that like us? We were the last team to significantly move up in a draft.
I think so.
significantly because we went from 8 to 4, right?
I mean, the Pelicans I moved
Because
up.
the original pick was 8, right? It ended up being Jackson Hayes, right?
Pelicans moved up for who?
I mean, they are you talking about like for lottery odds or just
Yeah, no, I'm talking about like that traded.
Oh,
up.
trade up, my bad,
We traded up for Hunter, but it was 8
Yeah,
to
we
4.
traded up for
Okay.
Hunter.
We
But
had
nobody
both of us
really
was like-
trades back. Like out of the top of the lottery, bro. And they're not trading out of this one, bro. This one, we'll see. I mean,
I'm just saying.
I don't know how loaded your team would have to be to pass up on like Ace Bailey and Cooper.
I mean, like, I don't think that's gonna be the pick, anyways. I think it's gonna be like we're gonna be like 7. Hey.
Hey, look,
I'd be happy if we in like the 8th pick in this draft is gonna be.
hold on, I got you. I got you.
Go ahead, Marco. Yeah.
All right, before we start, because we're kind of off topic now, but I'm gonna put in my little 2 cents for this, and then we're gonna go back to Ricochet. Landry might be playing chess because if that Lakers pick falls between a top 6, the Spurs are gonna want that. You're going to get those picks back, so you're going to get at least one of your picks back. No, let me cut.
Need them, bro.
You don't. But if you can get at least one back, you're in a better position to go get somebody else. Now, anyways, back to Ricochet. He surprised me. He took the ball to the rack. He wouldn't. That little Euro he did, I was like, nah. I was like, you ain't do that for real. And he's like, I got shit on for saying this, but I was like, a lot of people were like, you can't start Ricoche yet because he's still a rookie. I'm like, he's not your normal rookie. He's been playing pro basketball since he's 15. That's free development. He is ready. I don't expect him to have some grand first season, but if he can give me, from what I'm seeing, I'm confident in him giving me 15 a game.
Is
I'm
he
confident.
better
The Hunter,
than
yes.
DeAndre Hunter?
The shot quality the shots that he takes, the way he puts the ball on the floor, the way he attacks the rim, he's better in DeAndre. And
Glenn's gonna yell at you if you tweet this. Glenn Willis will yell at you if you
me
tweet
and Glenn
this.
can go, bro. Me and
So
Glenn
that's why
Man,
I'm asking to
listen.
try to. I'm like,
I literally tweeted if
answer the-
Roddy's shooting threes, there's like 5 forwards on his team better than
you guys
don't
know
care.
I don't disagree with you. I agree. I
Listen,
had to
like,
ask the question.
He just is like Marco said. If you've been a pro since you were 15, you get to the NBA at 19, you kind of have like a bachelor's degree in basketball. Kinda.
He was the number one pick. Here's the thing: most number one picks are bad. Why? Their teams are bad, and they are asked to be the best player. Is he being asked to be the best player?
No. He's just support the team.
And it's like,
Most number one picks were being asked to be the number
he's
three.
He's not gonna get that 35 minutes a night that DeAndre Hunter got from day one.
No, he's not going to be asked to guard the best
However,
player.
If he did, he would probably average more than 15. I'm just keeping it a band.
All I'm saying is he also to go back to your question.
Disagree that he could average 15 with Trey.
Yeah, to go back to your question, is he better than Hunter?
He wasn't in preseason.
I'm a confident if you're going by preseason alone from what I've seen versus 6 years, 5-6 years of Dre. Like I said, the shots he's taking, the way he plays, the big bucket, all that. The big part, he moves his feet. Whoever Zach was guarding actually had a hard time. Now, I'm not saying Dre doesn't give some matchups a hard time, but Zach was clearly playing niggas faster than him. I have to stop cussing, my bad. When he guarded Maxi, he didn't guard Maxi.
He did for a couple reps. He got a couple reps in on Maxi.
Yeah, okay. I didn't know what
Maxi boosted on him a little bit around the screen, but there's nothing you can do. There's nothing he can do. This is the bad matchup for him.
Yeah.
But he still stood his ground against Maxi. He didn't make it that easy for him. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Dre is getting beat off that triple each time. So,
yeah,
as of right now, I think Risa should very much start. He had a decent preseason. He's confident in his shot. He's confident in his skills. He's not afraid to put the ball on the floor. He's not afraid to take it to the rack. He doesn't give a damn if you're closing out. He's still going to shoot that three.
And they did move that release point back up where it needs to be.
I was literally about to say that. Yeah.
And if you're 6'10" and that release point is up there, man, that ain't too many people blocking that shot, man.
It's going to be a hard time.
The Hawks went from not having many tall players to now being able to put two guys out there that are like solidly 6'10" in their shoes. And that's really tough to defend in the NBA, especially on the perimeter where guys aren't that tall, right? Even the Knicks are rolling a bunch of dudes that are shorter than them. It's an interesting duo.
I forgot to include this in my little Ricochet glaze. He passes the ball and he gets boards. I'm done.
Dude, he screens and rolls, man. He's slipping screens.
He does everything you want on this team.
He's
good. He's good.
We want to talk about all-around players. He really has shown to have an all-around game already. The rebounding.
He's got a bachelor's degree in basketball. Magna cum laude.
I don't know if we talked about this in the last episode, but like the European developmental style is fully about being a good teammate and rounding out your game and being able to do it all. And he really showed that.
And then maybe one day, if you do all that, we'll teach you how to ISO. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, really, it's like if you take that and put it on a legitimate athlete with legitimate size, you get a good basketball player. And that's really what it is. You had Euros coming over for a long time that just couldn't. The NBA style didn't allow them to play their game. Really, it was just all about being athletic and shit. But now there's a lot more space, and a guy like Zach and his skill, like really pops.
I'm about to ask about the overall team defense of the preseason because I feel like that hasn't been discussed enough yet. But before I say that, I am gonna say out of the four of us here, I am the only person here who said Ricochet was probably gonna be a good player. So I do deserve that little bit of credit.
You said to put that out on the pod, man. You can tweet that.
No. I'm saying that right here. So I
mean,
I deserve that credit. So
I was just vehemently against anything Matt was
He's European.
saying.
No, I'm just kidding.
But I did say, I mean, if you're 6'9", know how to play basketball, and you shoot threes at volume at a like average clip, you're gonna be a good NBA player.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just whether or not that's enough.
But now I'm like, okay, you kind of have a little bit of everything. Like you're actually an all-around basketball player. Now
just small forward. That's what a small forward is supposed to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And now we're trying to see if you know, how big is your mag, basically. That's what we're trying to see. How big is your mag? You got 100 shots? Are you really gonna put it up? Because if he really puts it up, like he's really confident in his shot, but is he gonna get the shots and shoot through those contests at the clip that I think he needs to be considered like the what's the word I'm looking for? Special shooter that he needs to be considered like a home run at the number one pick, at least right now. Because I think that's his cleanest path to, getting, like it's really hard for like very few rookies put up a lot of threes.
Yeah.
But
until recently. Keegan Murray, I think, set the record.
Yeah,
he did. Okay. Like even he shot more than Trey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
He broke Trey's record.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. How many does Trey shoot? 6. I think it's 6.7, right? That's such a crazy thing to I really hope, like, I ain't gonna lie. I really hope that that's the incorrect guess, because if it's right, then I need help.
It's not too far off. I want to say it was like in the 380s. I don't think he attempted 400.
Okay. It's just 6. It's just 6 flat. Okay. I feel a lot better about that. Yeah, I think he could. Yeah, I mean, he probably just won't get the minutes.
Do you think that he could win? So Zach has a good start, becomes the starter within the first couple weeks of the season. Do you think he could be the rookie of the year?
I think the biggest thing is,
yeah, I'm saying
if he if he has the numbers to win rookie of the year, we'll probably be so good that he won't be able to not win it. And then I'm looking at like the other guys.
That was my next question.
Like the other guys that I feel like have a chance that are kind of like good enough to win rookie of the year. Like Reed, is Reed going to start?
No, we don't. That's a big question.
Is Star going to be consistently good? Is anybody going to watch the Wizards?
Castle going to start.
I mean, the real question is, I feel like it could just be Edie. That could just be like the real front runner, honestly.
Rookie starting.
Yeah, I mean, and the front runner is Edie, because Edie's going to start. I think
they're going to be a good team.
But yeah, and he's going to be a starting center on a probably good team. But also, Ja's going to average 25. Jaren's going to average 20. Bane's going to average. Where is he getting the numbers? Like 15 and 10? Going to win rookie of the year?
Rebounds.
Yeah, for sure. But he probably is he might start Capellaing it and resetting the offense.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Marco.
Yeah, to say it, I fully believe. I still think he's going to start.
From
I've
day
said it.
one?
I said from day one. I feel like he's. I very much believe he's going to start.
Interesting.
The reason I'm going a little side tangent, and we're going to get back to this. The reason I felt like he didn't play or he didn't start in preseason because you know what he's going to do with them. You kind of want to see him on his own first before you start flashing him with Trey, flashing him with Jalen. And that's what Quinn was kind of doing. Because by second game, he was playing with Trey and Jalen multiple times. Started out the half, started out after first half too, and against the 76ers.
Very true. That happened twice, right?
Yeah. So he started out. So you want to see what he can do on his own, then you want to see what he can get to. And the games he did play, I'm hoping this is correct. He averaged 16-5 from 60-44 splits.
If they had a competition, Zach won the competition, right?
Yeah, it was like if you had to look at Sar versus Zach very much won that conversation. Zach's first game,
Dre,
he scored.
Dre.
He scored. Oh, Dre.
Zach for the three. You're talking about starting, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah,
Just wanted to keep you on track.
Yeah. I meant to say that on my tangent. I appreciate that.
I'll be Glenn right now.
No, I'm not done. I got
I'll
it.
get my
I'll let you get it. So I've said it multiple times, but the reason Dre was starting because you have to prove to Quinn, why should I let you keep this spot? Now that you're actually threatened at this position, let me know why I need to let you keep this spot. And if you're looking at it from eye test, from the games we saw, because they both played 2 games. Well, Dre played 1.5, but they both played 2 games. You're going to start Zach every time. You're just going to have to start Zach. You're just going to have to, and no matter what, you're going to have to start Zach in that competition if you're just looking straight eye test.
Yeah, did you want to respond to that?
Yeah, then I want to go on the team defense thing that preseason before we end this. I think right now, I don't think Zach's gonna start. I think in their mind, 2 preseason games isn't gonna be enough for them. And we know, like, historically, Quinn does not like to start rookies. And but I do feel like there is gonna be a case where it's just like, if Zach does just show out DeAndre Hunter like the first 2 or 3 games, he's just probably just gonna make Risache the permanent starter, because like we seen it happen last year with Jalen, where Quinn said last year, "Oh, we're gonna base our lineups based on matchup," and he started Bay, and
sorry.
Yeah,
that
go
was
ahead.
The silliest thing. There's no matchup where Bay is a better matchup than Jalen Johnson. That was the funniest thing in the world.
And then he started for like 2 games. Jalen basically outplayed Bay, and then all of a sudden Jalen played it basically started every single game when he was healthy. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, but right now I think Hunter's just gonna start the 3. And I assume Dyson's just going to start too, since we're starting about starting lineups as well, since he's starting every preseason game at the 2. So those are basically my 2 locks. So it's probably just going to be Trey, Dyson, Hunter, Jalen, Clint.
If I had my last thing I'm going to say on this, and we can move to the team defense.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, Trey, Dyson, Hunter, Jalen, Clint was horrible. Like
it wasn't bad.
No, it was, if we want to go
one game,
yeah,
it was good one game. But then you want to go to the plus minus, it was not pretty good. It was not that much.
I think. Go ahead, Leon.
Oh no! You can go ahead. I'm about to look it up.
Yeah, I think that they are just gonna try it for like maybe a few games, but like I said, I think they are just gonna be experimental this season. They have too many players not to be experimental.
I'm gonna say this, and then we can move on to defense. I'm sorry. I know
you're good.
I know. You only have 2 games to do this testing bull. After these 2 games, our 3rd game of the season is OKC. You have to get a lineup straight by OKC. I don't care how you try to look at it, how you try to say 2 games is not enough, because you essentially have 6 games. You essentially had 6 games to figure this out.
Do you even test it until you just play OKC?
I say you don't
run it for 3 games.
I say
Do
even
you
with the
have
Hornets,
2
we know the
games?
Hornets are we? Yeah, it's Brooklyn and Charlotte. Even though the Hornets are our kryptonite for some reason.
I mean, fuck them being our kryptonite. Like, their roster is now objectively good. Something to watch out.
It is.
Don't
So
say
now
I
you
didn't
can't
warn you.
you can't
Yeah.
you can't keep juggling it. Then be like, nah, we have to work this. You have to do it. You can't do it, but you have to figure out what you want right there. Dre might not even play next Wednesday. We don't even know what's going on with him.
I think they're just resting him. It's just rest.
I think it's possible that they made the starting decision in camp, and
Yeah.
that obviously it's not set in stone. I do agree with Ant that it's probably a lot like last season, where like if Zach is clearly just outplaying Dre, then they'll make that move
Didn't
with a little lip service.
Didn't Zach come out with the starters in the game we was at the Philly game, right?
He did.
Yeah, he came out.
He started
that.
twice.
In the
He did that
halftime.
twice, yeah.
After halftime. Yep.
Mhm.
During
Let me
the
see
third
something.
quarter.
Let's see
Yeah.
something.
So
Hold on a moment.
I think
But we can
Yeah.
figure it out while he's
Yeah,
looking at
defense.
defense.
yeah. So since I do think like during preseason, I think I'm confident in saying this. I think this team will have a better defense than like the past 2 years.
Yeah,
It's hard to
that's
be worse than
obviously
28th. Goddamn.
Like, yeah. I mean, I've especially with this last preseason game in OKC, where everyone's just being able to just only hold OKC to like 101 points. Everyone was just able to just play to like Quinn's defensive principles. Like it was just honestly just so impressive just to see that. Like Miami, that was a really good defensive game, despite it being basically a shootout for most of it. Philadelphia, that was a really good game for the team. It was like basically it was more or less like 3 out of 4 defensive performances that were, I would say that was just good for the team. And I think it's just a really just positive step forward for this team, honestly. What are your guys' thoughts?
Who want to start this one off? Chris, you look like you got something to say.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna go. There was a different level of ball pressure from Dyson. I think that kind of set the tone for the team, and I think they had a lot of guys just up the level of athleticism in the group, physicality. They were competing defensively. Like the rotations still aren't quite there. There's a lot of things to iron out in terms of communication. There's still guys getting shoved into positions a little late in the play, but the thing you want is the competition level has increased, and you have the pieces now athletically. So the defense, I think, will be a work in progress, but I do think that it will get better over the course of the season, and they have the potential to improve quite a bit. I mean, pretty easy to get better from 28, but
Yeah,
you can also get worse technically. I'm just saying.
I mean, we kind of did last year.
yeah, we did
So-
drop from 28 to 30, but I think the defense. I think it all comes down to communication and what Nance was saying. If the defense really wants to go where they want it to go, you have to talk. You're going to have to talk more. We're going to need more communication from Jalen. We're going to need more communication from Dyson. More communication from our 3 main defenders, whoever is at the 3. So they showed some good plays. They're in the passing lanes. They're not over helping as they were last year. I think rim defense is still an issue, but maybe that could have just been them trying out something with Clint or whatever. I don't know. But the rim was kind of wide open some of these games. I think the defense is overall better from what we saw last year. You have people that are playing. Like I said, you want the defense to be top 15. You need them. You need everybody to talk. I think that was just the main problem. There was a lot of miscommunications, just not knowing where you're supposed to be on your rotation or stuff like that. So I feel like defense is better.
Yeah, and now we got players like Larry Nance, who is, I think, obviously now like one of the big leaders of our team, vocally and on the court. He's being able to communicate, and then you have Dyson as well, and you also got Kobe, who we praised like in the beginning of the podcast, like he's being great on defense. Like it's just all these positive signs. Like I'm honestly like I'm just so I'm just hyped for the season. Like, honestly, I just really just can't wait to see how this team plays. Like, that's really all I can say right now.
Like I said in the space after the game, and I think I said it at the beginning of this pod, but if not, early returns on the DJ trade on the player side with Dyson, who's
A robbery.
a real fleece. Larry Nance obviously doing it on both sides of the ball with the communication, being vocal. Obviously, he's played a lot of basketball as well in a number of different systems with a number of really good coaches. And of course, drafting Zach this summer. So you added all that kind of size, length, versatility, and that's good on the defensive end, as well as just committing as a team to being better on defense, and Quinn hopefully demanding that from them this year will make a big difference in the overall rating of the team. I'm not really looking for us to be top 15. I think top 20. We've only been top 20 once in the Trae Young era, and that was the year he went to the Eastern Conference Finals. We were 16th. So I think top 20 is would do wonders for us. It could be better than that, right? But I also expect the offense to be very, very, very good as well. So, team defense, communicating, Trae really buying in, and Trae not having to do so much on offense so he can exert some of that energy on defense. That's what we need for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it is a good time right now to just end our podcast, and we're just gonna go over with our final thoughts. So I'll just start with Leon. Do you have any final thoughts before we close this out?
Cheap starting 3, cheap backup point guard, cheap starting 2 for at least 2 more years. Some money freeing up at the end of the year in the center room, and Polar Bear in Arlington, Texas, wearing number 12. So you got to do what you got to do, making it happen. Size, length, versatility around Trae. Dang, we didn't even get to talk about 4 meta.
Oh, dang.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, next time. We'll do it next time.
It's all good, but it's almost here. It's almost here, guys. It's almost here. Go Hawks.
Marco, any final thoughts before we end this?
Just want to say happy birthday, Leon. You get to put that on the podcast.
Happy birthday.
Very old man.
I was going to say it.
You get to put that on the podcast. Excited for the season. Excited for what I've seen. I'm hoping Zach gets to start day 1, but I understand if he doesn't, sadly. Yeah, man, go Hawks. 6 seed or bust.
All right, Chris, final thoughts?
My final thoughts of the preseason. 1-3, but records only matter in the preseason. Starters were being set. I think Quinn saw a lot of things that he wanted to see. Obviously, there's some things that they're going to want to clean up. We talked about how it could be like a bit of a rough start for them offensively. Hopefully, defensively, they can compete and stay in games and get some W's early. But I do think this could be a really special group offensively, and I think Zach and Dyson are gonna be really big for this group. Hopefully, by the end of the year, they're starting, and we really get to see what the future of this team is gonna look like.
All right, and then my final thought. I only have 3 words. Top 3 seed, and I'll end it off there. I'll see y'all I'll see everyone for the next podcast.
Ant speaks for himself.
Yeah, Ant, you're by yourself on that one.
I know, but I have a good feeling. But we will see you all next time for the next episode of Hard Knock Hawks. Have a good one, everyone.